All right, I've been getting quite a few questions of how to get the lift straps to appear on cranes and objects. Um, those are already set up on all the lift objects that my for me, as well as the cranes for me. Um, how it's done, I'm going to use this video to show you how it's done and how you can add it to other mods. To start off with, I'm going to show you how to add it to a lift object. This is FS Miner's construction objects pack, because he doesn't use this, and that's fine. That's how he does stuff. But so what we're going to do is you want to open up the object or the i3D file in Giants Editor that you want to add the lift straps to. Then you're going to create a transform group, and I like to call them lift straps or cables, and we're going to have 4 of them. So we've got this, then we're going to put it, cut it, paste it inside of the mod itself. And then we need to move this to where we want the lift straps to end. So for this, I'm going to put it at the top corner, just above. And if I remember correctly, with these, the z-axis should be pointing up. So we're going to put that to -90, right? And then we can duplicate it. I use Control D to duplicate those, and then we'll change the number. Right, and so now this is going to be over there. This is going to be on the back, which is not quite right. So we'll copy that, put it there. Another really cool thing you do is you can select inside one of these cells, select Control Shift C, and then go to another object, select in one of the translate cells here, hit Control Shift B, and it'll copy all 3 translations at the same time. Helps out a ton. Okay. The other thing I want to do, since this doesn't have a lift point, I'm going to create a transform for the lift point. Gonna put it up probably about there. I'm just gonna put a simple box inside of it so I know where it's located at. I typically use a transparent or translucent arrow. I'm just going to use this for now. And this is going to be the lift point. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go into the XML file. So it looks like the XML files are down farther. Okay, so here's object 1. One thing you notice is that it doesn't use referenced objects in here at all, which is okay. We can actually pull that and get that. I use a tool called i3D Mapping Explorer. Works wonders. So let's see, we're going to find, here's the objects, object 1, export it, make sure you have shortened IDs, copy it, and then all we got to do in here is paste. I always like to indent it just like everything else is. And so now we have these that we can now use in where it says node, we can put these here. Keep in mind, if you have objects named the same inside this file, when you paste it, they will have like a 0, and if this was 1, it'd have 1, just like that. And so if you're using just this portion of it, it's not going to show up right. So make sure you name your objects unique inside of the i3D file. Okay, So we're going to need quite a few things in here that are not already in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of my heavy haul lift objects. Nope, not that. Here, this should work. No. I don't want that. Sorry, this is not in alphabetical order. Here we go. Okay. Electric motor. This will work. Okay, so we're going to need attachable and connection hoses. Those are the two sections we'll need with this, right? So we're going to want the place that's going to lift was that lift point. So we're going to take that, put that there. There is no object change for this, so we can, if you had something you wanted to just to, actually we can. So the pyramid is our marker, letting us know where it's at. And so for that, we'll put in the pyramid for that because it'll show it when it's detached and hide it when it becomes attached. The second input attacher is not needed. We just need that one input attacher just for show. Then this is important information. So this is basically going to be the lift cable. So we got lift straps right here. And so we'll put these, and we're just going to do like this, 3, 4, and 5. Color, I will show you how to do that in a little bit. Actually, no, I'll go ahead. So I created an Excel file, sling colors. These are based off of, if I remember correctly, a friend from Germany, how they do sling colors. This is the weight. So if they're between 500 kilograms and less than 1 ton, it's going to be black. If it's 1 ton, so like 1.4999 tons, it's going to be violet. And these are the RGB colors right here that you need to enter into this field here, right? 7 is the material, which is a cloth. I thought that looked better with everything else. Length, diameter, all those other things. Diameter, that'll show you how thick it is. So if you think it's too thick, you can make it a little bit smaller. But the other thing to keep an eye on is this input attacher joint indices. If you have multiple input attachers, excuse me, make sure the one you want to use with a crane is the one that you index here. So let's say we had 3, right? But this last one was the one I wanted to use with the crane. So I have to put 3 here in all of these boxes, right? And if I wanted to use these for multiple input attachers, you can also put in, so like 1 space 3. So it'd give 1 and 3 if I did it for all 3 of them. Or I could have taken a whole nother section if I wanted to have different colors or a different order of these, which I've done before, depending on like the style of hook. You'll probably see that in my crane. In here, the objects I try to keep as simple as possible. But we can now save that, and let's go in and test. All right, since I didn't save it, I've got to maneuver the crane again. And they're not showing up. Let me save this. How come they show up for my stuff, but not this? That's probably why. Let's see. No? Oh, here. All those things showing you an example. And that's probably why they didn't show up. There we go. Alright. So, my mistakes on that. So, I didn't have the attached joint set up right. Otherwise, it would have worked. No issues. As you can see, they get a little bit wonky up at the, they get a little bit messed up here. So what we can do is comment out each one. So we're going to highlight these, hit Control Q inside of here, hit save. Now that will give us the first one. I don't know why it's bent like that. It could be because I think it's because the angle that we have it. So if we shift the angle in, so what we can do, open it up. That's the first one. So we angle it in like that. We can do the opposite for this one. All right, then we go back to here. I'm going to unhide the first two and we'll see if that is giving us something good. Good. But you notice how up on the hook, this one's coming out from the front and it looks like the other one's coming from the back. Yeah, so the angle on those are looking better. And now you can just adjust the position there. So it looks like this one should be coming from the back because it's right. So one of the back ones, that would be 3. I think it actually looks best with 4 and 2, I think, if I remember correctly. So yeah, so now that one looks better. Now if we unhide these two, so we need 3 and 1, if I remember correctly. There we go. Now we just need to adjust the angle of that back one, and that's looking pretty good. Okay. So adjust the angle here, adjust the angle there, refresh. And there we go. So that's how you add lift straps to a object you want to lift, and the lift point. So.